Hi, my name is Elizabeth, and this is the Draw My Life of my life in AP Lit. On the first day of junior year, I walked to the mobiles and into my AP English class, not really knowing what to expect. Obviously, it was a college level English class, but what did that really mean? So I was a little unaware of the upcoming difficulties we would face. But after the first couple of days, I was really enjoying the class and I was super excited for the rest of the semester as I thought I knew what we were doing. But then my teacher told us that we would be writing this huge 10-page paper over the entire course of the semester about all the different books that we had read. And like any other high schooler, I really dreaded beginning the essay as I kind of freaked out because 10 pages is a lot. But anyway, I tried to convince myself to stay positive about the paper because it could be a really good opportunity to improve my writing style. And so I came up with the conclusion that it probably wouldn't be as bad as I initially thought it would be. And before we could start even beginning the essay, we obviously had to read some books. So the first book we read was Beowulf, and I loved this book. Throughout reading it, we learned a lot about the time period and how it affected different characters and how they were portrayed and the importance of religion to people in this time. When it came time to write the first section of our paper, I was like, There were so many different directions I could take it that would be really interesting to me. And I really didn't have an idea of what I wanted to be writing about for the rest of the semester. Eventually, I chose the idea that I would write about the evolution of Christianity through the ages, as I thought it would be really interesting and there were a lot of references to religion in all the novels, so I thought it would be a really good idea with a lot of research to back it up. When I was first trying to write my Anglo-Saxon portion of my research paper, I got super confused about how to write my thesis and use my research. So to solve this confusion, I talked to some of my classmates and my teacher and got some other opinions on my thesis and first paragraphs so that I could try and improve them and make them stronger. To prepare for writing this paper, I wrote a whole page of research and sources that I plan to continue to use to write this essay. But then 2 days before the research essay was due, I lost the paper with all my research on it. However, instead of switching into panic mode, I did my best to make up the research, and I even turned the paper in on time, which made me breathe a little easier, and I thought, okay, maybe this won't be that bad. Throughout the process of writing all 3 papers, I learned how to edit my own writing, properly cite my sources, and to write a professional thesis, which took me an awful long time to figure out. But in the end, I was very excited that I had improved at these aspects of writing. Following my first experience with the research paper, there came quite a long blur of continuous readings like life lessons from the Canterbury Tales, confusion-filled scenes from Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream, tragedies from Othello, and so much more from all the different novels we read, which really made my inner book nerd pretty happy. After learning in class that we should start picking out literary devices in the works we were reading, I started drawing a lot more connections because of the alliterations, metaphors, similes, hyperboles, allusions, conceits, all that stuff that authors used in those times to draw connections between books. And I ended up having to write a lot of my research paper over again just so I could fit those connections into my work. However, this project was not always just sunshine and flowers all the time. I definitely had my own struggles, but I think they led me to where my paper ended up being today. One night while working on the final copy of the paper, I sat at my kitchen counter and thought, did I even answer the question that this whole thing should be about? As you know, that question was why study literature? As I obsessively scrolled through this long paper, I had an oh crap moment, as I initially thought I had completely missed the point. But then I realized I actually had answered the question. By researching the evolution of religion through the eras of literature, I proved that literature should be studied so that people of today can learn about their ancestors and people we evolved from. With close readings of text, readers can pull out minute details that shape the characters of the past, like we did in class. And because these different texts from different time periods allow us a portal to the past world, they will always be relevant no matter how many years pass, because new readers will always want to travel in time to visit the first Shakespearean plays or to visit the wild jungles of the Congo and beyond. I think the skills I took away from this semester-long paper, while difficult to acquire, are some extremely important ones that I wouldn't have gained in any other way. For my future in this AP Lit course, I want to use these skills like identifying literary devices to understand the novels better from the first time reading them. Also, I want to learn how to grasp the small details of a character, because details end up being the most important part to anything.